Okay, people. So today we are looking at Haar, right? This is the new film from Ben Hecking, right? Ben Hecking. He writes, he directs, he also produces the film along with Amanda Atkins, Carolina Cordero, Patricia Di Intino, Kate Kennedy, Jez Marshall, and Leo Pinter. It's associate produced by Alexander Newland. Alistair Reed handles the music. Heckling also does cinematography. Callum Reed edits the piece. Jenna Handley is on costume design, while Ian Galkoff is the art department. Right. So yes, our cast, we have Kate Kennedy as Jeff, Jack Morris is Bill, Balaz Balazars Kuzko is Lazolo. Eva Magia is Ild. Claudia Jolly is Alex. Fehinti Balogun is Dan. Maddie Rice is Caro. Will Brown is Tim. Grace Chilton is Tam. And Agata Duna is the real estate agent. So the gist of the film is as Jeff runs errands and navigates the dying embers of an ill-advised affair, news from home and a chance encounter prompt her to reassess the relationships in her life. Right? Yeah, she's been in the decade. She's been in the film industry as a production manager for a decade. 32, you know, and yeah, she's dealing with a lot. Right. So this is the first film that we've looked at in the journey strand. Yes. And it's really interesting, right? It's got a look of an 80s flick, right? And then I learned it because it was shot on a Super 8. And you're like, okay, makes a lot of sense because there's times when there's little jumps and things like that. So yeah, that's the thing. Also, another interesting fact I found, right? So Haar, that's that. Did I say that? I feel I did, right? Haar. In German, it means hair, but in Scotland, it means fog, right? I think it's just fog in general. It might be coastal fog, but yeah, that's what Haar, Haar, means. So this is really like a slice of life film, right? Because we are dealing with just about a 24-hour period, you know. Um, Jeff, she's just finished filming on a vampire TV series. Yeah, a vampire TV series that she's been making in Budapest. And yeah, there's a few things on her mind. Like she's been, you know, it says affair, but I feel affairs are only affairs if they're with someone that's already in a relationship. But yeah, she's sleeping with the star of the show, American actor, right? And as far as we know, he's single. So I don't think it's an affair. I don't know why it's called an affair when it's like that. But yeah, they've been, fooling around. So there's things to think about with that. right? Everything's wrapped, so she's going around giving people presents, wrap gifts, all of that stuff, dealing with other, just the minutiae that hasn't been done from this, season filming. Then there's going home, getting all of that sorted. But she also gets some bad news. Well, it's not bad news. It's weird news. And there's something else that could be going on. So there's all of these different things that we see her dealing with. Her phone is blowing up, so she's not really taking phone calls. And I think a big thing that we notice with old Jeff, her people skills, not necessarily the best, right? And it's not necessarily we see a crazy rude to people. I just think she's one of those people that I think communicating isn't like it's not your strong point, but it's very temperamental, right? You have to be in the mood to do things, right? And have certain conversations. Otherwise, it can just be, it's a struggle. It's tough, trying to engage. So, yeah, we noticed that. And then with all this stuff that's going on and some other stuff that goes down, you can think, okay, yeah, like talking and engaging could be tough. But you also get the sense that even without that news, she's not going to be, you know, the life of a party. She's not, I mean, if you are with her one on one, maybe, but in a group setting, no, no. And she's always going to be a bit difficult to get hold of and all of those things. That's the sense you kind of get. Well, I did anyway. But it's just like looking at all of these different things, right? Because there's exes, you know, there's colleagues, parents, all of these different people that she's interacting with in the course of this day, her driver. And we just see how all of that goes, right? These different situations. Right? There's a situation where she's talking with someone, you can clearly see she does not want to be in that conversation, right? It is keeping it nice and hi, yeah, boom, boom. But it's just like there's no room for small talk. Jeff ain't a small talk person, essentially. So it's just all of these things. But, we also then see that like she's not terrible, right? Someone wants help or advice, and she's like, yeah, okay, you can call me. You know what I mean? So we just see these different sides of Jeff and the different kind of things that she's wanting out of life, right? And pondering, so things affect her. We see certain conversations affect her in different ways, and things people say, right? We can see that taking a toll. But there's this other thing happening with her, which doesn't necessarily get resolved. Now, it could be due to something else that is going down with her. I don't think we really know, because I think once she gets one thing clarified, this other thing still happens again. So it's just like, yeah, there's a lot going down, but I liked it. I like this film, you know. It's only around 80 minutes, right? It's only around 80 minutes. And I find these kind of stories, these personal, intimate stories that are just basically on the strength of interactions. But I think that was part of the joy of Before Sunrise, right? Because, you know, Jesse and oh my God. My mind has gone blank. But you know, they're walking around, frack, my mind is just boy. But you know what I mean? They're walking around the city, right? And it's just all of these different people that they meet. Remember, they meet those people that are putting on a play, right? There's other couples, and other, like, just those conversations. It's fascinating. And then the conversations they have, that's the joy of the film. It's a bit similar to In Search of a Midnight Kiss, right? It's about these different conversations had while walking around, while your average day, you know, is happening. And so we see all of these, which then give you this greater insight into Jeff. Because I think at first it might seem that she's a bit cold, a bit rude, a bit standoffish. But then you learn, no, not necessarily, right? There's just these other things that she's dealing with. You know, we see that, yeah, she still has these different feelings and needs, right? And if someone cuts off a video call in the middle of shit, god damn, that's gonna be frustrating as a motherfucker, right? That's gonna be frustrating, boy. So yeah, I think it's dealing with a lot of different things, and the end, right? We see certain. I mean, it's not so much resolutions, but I feel that the character has a kind of, if not renewed or new, but I think a better sense of certain relationships and possibly what she wants from life, you know? But it's an emotional 24 hours. It's an emotional time, right? Work is up in the air. You know, she doesn't know if they're getting a season 2, you know? Doesn't know about relationship, you know, what she's doing. Right. So, and then there's all this other stuff that goes down, which is definitely going to impact everything else. So, you know, but we leave her at this point where there seems to be a different level of clarity from when we first meet her, you know. So, Kennedy does a great performance of just having this faceted character who's just on this, you know, kind of emotional roller coaster, right? Kind of this emotional roller coaster, but giving us these different nuances, because sometimes it's not like so happy or so sad. It's that in between. And Kennedy does a great job of walking between the raindrops, right? Does a great job of that. So I did enjoy this film. Now, unfortunately, people, this one, you know, I ran across this one after the fact. So it's already played on Saturday 7th at Prince Charles, and then Sunday the 8th at the BFI South Bank. So yes, there is no more plays at the London Film Festival. So that is definitely a shame. And as of right now, I don't have any more details. But if before I throw this up, you know, I come across anything else, of course, it will be on the website. You know what I mean? Like with everything else, people, it will be on the website so you can, you know, track that down, right? Follow the director, the cast, all of that jazz. But yeah, I will definitely recommend checking out her. And especially if you are a fan of stuff like the Before trilogy, you know, um, yeah, In Search of a Midnight Kiss. Jesus Christ. Man, my memory is like I have not slept much during this festival, man. I think I'm averaging 2 hours a night. And I think I've got to that point where yeah, my hard drive needs rebooting. But yes, people, go give Hair a look because it's a lovely little film. All right.